I have been manifesting my dream life since before I even understood what manifestation was, before I understood mindset techniques or shifting your energy, anything like that. I was just sort of doing it. And so today I want to share with you the very real ways that you can start creating massive, positive, healthy change in your life without doing anything super drastic or having to, go on some spiritual retreat somewhere, do intensive therapy. I mean, all those things are great, but today I will be sharing with you the simple everyday things that you can be doing to see massive change in your life. Now, it's all going to focus around self-love, right? And I could go on forever about what is self-love and how it's an ever-evolving thing and an ever-growing thing. For me personally, I'll reach a new level of self-love and I'm like, I finally love myself. And then, I keep working at it and like 2 months later, I'm like, wow, that wasn't what I thought it was. But it was something and it was where I was at the time. So the first thing is to honor that within yourself. Wherever you are is perfectly fine and acceptable. This is an ever-evolving thing. There is no right or wrong way. There is just where you desire to be and where you are currently at. I'm going to see if I can keep this video kind of brief. I know I love talking and I love rambling, so I'm going to try and keep it as concise as I can. But number one, we are going to start with looking at your eating habits. Now, I know everyone has their own relationship with food, so I'm not here to criticize anyone. I'm just going to offer the things that you can be looking at to then evaluate in ways that are healthy and safe for you. So, for me personally, what I needed to do was, my pets are like on one today. I've tried recording this video like 17 times because I've been doing things. But anyway, if you hear strange noises in the background. So, what I personally looked at were the things that I was eating consistently the most, and if that was a healthy fit for me. So as an example, at work for breakfast, I didn't eat breakfast before I left the house, and I would bring like breakfast bars and snack bars with me, and I would eat them throughout my morning, and I was eating the same ones every day, every week. Every day, every week. Now, I recently learned that it's not the healthiest for your body to eat the exact same things every week. You're supposed to change up what foods are going into your body. That's a whole other thing. But I get very into routines of eating the same things. That's just who I am. So what I decided to look at was my snack bars, my breakfast bars. What was I eating consistently every day? Maybe it was too much for my body. And now part of me wants to go on a whole tangent about how my family, we went and did a genetic panel to find out what mutations we have in terms of like methylation and how our body functions and what we need to supplement, and it revealed so much to me. But you don't have to go get tests done, although I do recommend them, to understand what things you maybe shouldn't be consuming as much and what things you should be consuming more. I'm sure you have some idea of the things that your body doesn't like and the things that your body does like. And just take a look at that and see, how can I shift away from those things that seem to give my body a hard time? And how can I incorporate something that seems to give my body an easier time? Just that alone. Just me changing my breakfast. And week to week now, I do a different breakfast every week. But I shifted away from specific breakfast bars that are probably healthy to other people and seem to be, but were not a good fit for my body's needs, to something that was a good fit for my body's needs. And I have seen such positive change. Because when we talk about shifting our mindset, we need to make sure that we're also supporting our physical body that we're in. I think when we think about our mentality, it can, in our mental space, it can feel like this very intangible thing because it is sort of an intangible thing, but it is based on a physical set of processes. So it's important to focus on the physical things in your life as well as the non-physical things in your life. So shifting your diet breakfast is just one of those aspects, right? So then take a look at your lunch. And it doesn't necessarily, maybe you eat a healthy lunch, but maybe you don't enjoy it that much. Maybe it's healthy for you, but you're not enjoying it. What could you do to make it a little bit more exciting for yourself? Or maybe you enjoy it, but it's just not exciting. I know I was looking at some of my coworkers' lunches, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fancy. Like, it's not just a simple meal they threw together. Like, they put a little extra pizzazz in what they're eating for lunch, and it made me want that. So I decided to then set time aside so I could give myself that, maybe not every week, but certainly more regularly. So looking at your dietary habits are the first thing. And I know that can sound, just saying that sounds so intimidating, because maybe there are big changes that you know that you should be making, but I'm just encouraging you to take one baby step and stay consistent with it. Here's another one. I just saw out of the corner of my eye, my water filter. I'm really sensitive to things in the water. So I personally have to filter everything out, and then I have to add like vitamins and minerals back in. That's a big thing for me. I was filling my water bottle up at work, and it wasn't healthy for me. So I bought little like canisters so that I could bring water refills with me to work. I bring my vitamin packets with me to work, so I always have that. Just those little things every day made a huge difference in my health and in my life, because then I'm happier. So diet is one thing. I just feel like everything I'm going to say is going to have a lot of resistance around, and I totally understand that. I totally understand resistance. And for me personally, when I feel a lot of resistance around something, I say that's okay. But what small, even if it's like this big step, can I take towards achieving that bigger goal that feels really intimidating? And now the next one is going to be about sleep. What is your sleep routine like? Are you finding yourself always exhausted in the morning, but then when you go to lay down, you're scrolling on your phone for hours, or you just can't seem to shut your brain off? Look into, again, I'm going to share my personal experiences. I started taking a magnesium complex before I go to bed, and when it kicks in, my brain quiets down for a bit. If I don't go to sleep within that time frame, my brain will start getting a little noisy again. So I honor that within myself, and I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I know you can set like timers, and there's so many ways within your phone that you can manage your screen time. I don't do that, but you can definitely utilize those. I have enough willpower to not utilize those, but I would highly recommend utilizing those new settings. Well, I guess they're not that new. They've been out for a couple years, but utilizing those settings on your phone if you find that is an issue for you, because if you're looking at your phone, your brain is not going to settle down and go to sleep. And sleep is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Spend 1 week going to bed early. Just 1 week. Just 1 week going to bed early. I've gotten to the point, I was such a night owl, I've gotten to the point where I'm waking up earlier because I was just telling a coworker this. I said, I'm working on waking up earlier gradually because I realized I want to do yoga in the morning while my coffee is brewing. And that is such a night and day difference from who I was a year ago. I would have I used to just roll out of bed, barely get myself together, everything that I need to bring with me to work, and out the door. Like literally, I would rush to get everything together, get myself dressed, washed everything, and out the door. Now, I want to take my time in the morning and enjoy myself. That is such a huge shift. So I definitely understand what it's like to be on the other side of these things. And I'm not saying you need to be where I am, but for my dream life, this is what I want. So whatever it is for you personally, I just shared what it was for me. Shift your sleep schedule for 1 week if you can't commit to 2 weeks, but see how you feel. See how you feel after 2 weeks. Trust. Okay, now the next thing is going to be hygiene. I think I don't know, when I say that, it sounds like an insult, potentially. But I mean how to better your hygiene. Not that there's anything wrong with where you are at right now, but your routines around hygiene. It's not that maybe your hygiene is lacking, it's the routine, because the experience of your routine is important too. So you can wash your face and, paint your nails, or, give yourself a little pedicure or whatever, and you can have an elevated experience while doing it. So for example, I'm going to go with the whole pedicure thing. If you just trim your toes and that's it, maybe give yourself a nice little foot bath. Maybe put some Epsom salts in there, some, aromatherapy. Put some lotion on it. Give yourself a little foot massage. Don't just trim your nails. Give yourself a little hand massage when you do your nails. It's like about the routine. So whatever your hygiene habits are, here's another example. When it comes to my shower routine, I have shifted all of my body wash to body wash that makes me feel good using it. Not, this one was on sale and I wanted to save a couple bucks. The $3 was not worth the lack of experience of me having the scents that I want. I invested in like one of those, it's not a loofah, it's like the silicone scrubby things, so it's more sustainable, because my loofahs would gross me out, and then I hated how often I had, it felt bad for the environment, blah, blah, blah. So upgrade the products that you are using. And sometimes the upgrade doesn't mean like it costs more. Things can cost the same as what you're already spending, and still be an upgrade for you. Another thing that I like to do is, instead of taking a shower or a bath with like the big light on, I bring candles into my bathroom and I play classical music, or whatever kind of meditation music to help my mindset while I'm in the shower. And it has totally changed the experience for me. It's like a very meditative thing. I feel like I'm getting more connected with myself. And that's amazing. I shifted into sustainable shampoo. I use like shampoo and conditioner bars that come from a company that support a cause that that I enjoy. I enjoy supporting that. I got one of those little, I got a gua sha stone tool, and I do lymphatic massage every time I take a shower. And then I also got one of those little TikTok EMF LED sculpting tools. I love it. I incorporated that into part of my routine. And it's good for your health to make these shifts, and it's good for your brain and your mind, and you will start feeling better about yourself. And as you shift your energetic state, your reality is going to reflect that. And also what's really great is, as you start to prioritize the experience you're having, whether it's, like I said, just the aesthetics of it. Maybe it just, you get a new serum and it looks pretty. All of my skincare products, they have to look a certain way because they're sitting on my counter. I don't want to look at bottles that are mismatched. They all need to look like they go together. Aesthetics are a big part of my life because I want to enjoy everything I'm seeing in my house. But as you start to feel better and you tell your brain that you are happier, that you are taking care of yourself, your brain is going to reinforce that in its programming. It is going to seek out ways to make you happier and take better care of yourself. And it is going to start helping you find ways to improve. And it's going to become effortless. It's going to become part of your programming, that you are always doing things that make you feel good. And you are supported, and you'll be supported in that. So the third thing is going to be your social habits. This one can be a difficult one. As we grow, we're going to outgrow certain situations, certain people. And I had a fear in the past of losing connections with people that I was close to, because a part of me knew that the connection was going to change, and it felt like a loss because it was going to be a loss of the old ways. And I didn't have enough faith in the new coming in. Now, one thing I know that can be really hard when there's a connection that is not in alignment with you anymore, and maybe you're not sure if this friendship is going to end or change with you. I know that younger me used to always think that everything was going to end when I made changes. And oftentimes I would take action from that place of assuming that there was going to be an ending, and I was creating that very ending. So what I like to do now is, it's okay to reject someone wanting to hang out with you, or someone invites you to something and you don't want to go out partying anymore. Or you don't want to, whatever it is, that is not something that you're interested in for whatever reason. What I like to do is consider two things. Is it the person that you don't want to spend time with? Because if so, then the script that I'm going to give you is not going to work. So I'm going to give you this script instead. If you just don't want to spend time with that person anymore, you just need to start saying no thank you. And you need to do what I believe they call is the bored uncle. Or you can express to them that you can be very honest and, say that you don't find that your connection aligns with your current goals in life. You could say that. You could be very honest about your feelings. Or you can just kind of not engage as much as you used to. Engage politely and just let things fizzle out naturally. Or you can be very direct about it. But if it's not that you don't want to spend time with that person anymore, but you just don't want to do the same activities, this is the script that I like to use. So for example, and one thing that I was working on was, it wasn't that I didn't want to go meet my friend for tea, but I was tired that night and I didn't want to push myself to drive 20 minutes. I was happy to hang out, but I wanted to stay home because I was tired. So the script that I'm going to give you is to say, no, thank you. I'm feeling tired, or I'm just not feeling that. And then offer an alternative so that the person knows that you're still open to spending time with them. It's just about your current state of desires. And it's not about your desire about spending time with them. So for example, I said, I'm not really feeling up to leaving my house, but I'd be happy to see you. And so my friend offered to bring food to my house so we could have a night in. And that was really nice. So start honoring yourself more in your decision making. I know that I used to push myself a lot, and it's something that I'm currently practicing to increase honoring myself and not pushing myself to do things that maybe I just don't have the capacity for. And the more and more you start to prioritize yourself and work on deepening that self-love and self-care, you're going to honor your capacity more and more and realize maybe how far you are pushing your limits or even your boundaries. So then the last thing that I am going to leave with you today, I said I didn't want this to be a long video, but you know what? Honestly, if you want to change your life, it's going to be a little long, right? Like, your life is a lot, and so there's going to be a lot to go over. And these are just small beginning steps, but when I say small, I don't want you to think that they're going to have a small impact. These are going to have massive impact on your life. I've watched it in mine. Your dreams change and grow with you. So when I say I manifested my dream life, it's an ongoing thing. And when I find myself outgrowing the space that I'm in, I create the new dream, and boom, I start moving towards it. And it's not always a simple process, but these are the habits that I have always employed, or the tools, the pattern, the actions that I have always employed. Every time I want to make massive change, it's okay, let's start small. What are the little things that I can start to do? Maybe it's just researching, a lot of times I love cars. So a lot of times my manifestations are around the car I'm driving. And sometimes it just starts with the research of, could I afford this new car? Are there any on the market that I'd be interested in? And what are what do those prices look like? Just starting to get a better understanding of where you're at in relation to maybe where you want to be. But we're not going to dive too deep into that today. Let me know if you would like me to talk about those types of things. It all starts to kind of swirl together. But my last note that I want to leave you with is start shifting your free time. Big example, I used to come home and I was very conscious of what I'd be watching on my television. I didn't want to just watch, things that felt like they were pulling me down, but I also felt like I was spending way too much time just watching TV and I wasn't feeling productive. Now, if you don't create the space for yourself to be productive and have creativity come in, you're very rarely going to be inspired. Because yes, inspiration can just strike you sometimes, but you need to foster the environment for inspiration to come in. So I started reading, and a part of me felt like it was still kind of like a waste of time because it wasn't productive, because I wasn't physically creating something. But it's not a waste if you enjoy it. And what I found was that through disconnecting from watching a screen and using my imagination, it was getting my wheels turning. And I started having all these ideas and inspirations for my creative projects and my personal projects that I was not having when I was watching television. But if you are going to watch television, now, if you want to come into a place of self-love and increasing that and always working towards bettering that and deepening that, watch people that do love themselves. Find reality shows or YouTube channels of people that you feel like you could look up to. I want a life like that. What are their habits? One of my favorite things to do is watch like the Kardashians. I'm not saying that they're the best role models for certain things, but I took I would see their fridge and how beautifully they had all these beverage options and how beautifully they're lined up. And that was something that made me feel really happy. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. Like, I like that idea. I love, like different juices and sparkling waters. And that's just the way I am. And so I did that for my fridge. And it made me feel so fancy. Like, it made me feel elevated. The way that I organize my pantries. All my vitamins and my little, they have their own containers. I told you, I'm big on aesthetics. Just switching something into a simple, cheap, aesthetically pleasing container from its whatever packaging can have a huge difference. And it was something that I noticed because I was watching it on the television. And I was like, ooh, I really like how they did that. And so then I did it for my life. So go look at people that you perceive love themselves to the level that you want to be at. They have the success that maybe you'd like to see yourself at. And start adopting their habits. And I think I went on a tangent, but the final thing that I was going to share today was shifting your free time. Oh yeah, I did. I started on that. Okay, so not just around your house, but that too, for sure. How are you spending your free time around your house? How are you spending your free time outside of your house? It's been winter, and I don't like going outside in the cold a lot, so you won't really catch me outside. But museums, coffee shops, I don't know, parks, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be something that involves money. Maybe going to the spa once every 3 months is something that isn't within your budget, and it just makes you feel nice that you have that routine. Becoming a part of a community. You enjoy yoga. Try and find, a yoga studio or a yoga group. Maybe people gather in a park and it's just totally free and you're just all doing yoga together. I don't know. I love yoga, but I personally haven't done that, so I don't actually know. But these things can be a little bit harder because you're like, well, how am I supposed to find a yoga group? Whatever it is that you enjoy, set the intention to pursue that more and take whatever that baby step might be. And it's going to just align with you. You're going to collide with it. You'll stumble across it. Maybe you want to socialize with friends more. I know for me, I wanted to see my friends more, but I had ideas about how those people would want to socialize, and so I didn't want to do that because it was pushing me past my boundaries. So I sat and reflected within myself, okay, I want to see my friends more, but What are my limits to this? I only want to spend an hour with them, because I would just give my whole day away to somebody, and that just wasn't going to work for me anymore. But my friends didn't expect me to spend the whole day with them. They expected me to be setting my boundaries and, saying, hey, this is what I can offer today. And them being able to say, oh yeah, that works for me, or oh, that doesn't work for me, let's try again later. And that was just all in my brain. And I was stopping myself from pursuing these things because of my idea of how I had to show up. And so I started shifting that into something that honored myself more. How can I actually show up? I gave you the example. I told my friend, hey, I would love to see you. I'm just really not feeling going out tonight. I didn't even offer an alternative. She said, well, would you be open to me bringing dinner and we hang out at your house? And I was like, oh, actually, yeah, that would be really great. Because I genuinely wanted to see her, but I felt really bad saying, I'm not feeling it tonight. And it wasn't that I didn't want to see her. So it was amazing that she offered that. I didn't even think about it because I just assumed, oh, I'm going to need to do, this is how she's going to want to spend time with me. And when I honored myself, the alternative was presented. You guys can't see it, but right here is a cat. So I have to, if you start hearing purring, and he keeps sitting on my mouse pausing things. So that is my cue to wrap this up. One last bonus that I just thought of: how you dress daily. If you have a job, how do you show up to work? Put some thought into your outfit. Change it up just a little bit. It didn't make me feel good to roll out of bed, throw something on, and go to work. I still do that sometimes when I'm just really not feeling well, but I try my best now to plan an outfit that's going to make me feel good about myself. And it has changed so much. I pick an outfit that's just a little bit exciting for me, and even if it's just my socks that nobody's seeing, oh, I'm going to wear my fun socks today. Or I'm going to wear the shoes that I haven't worn in a while and they make me feel fun. I love shoes. And I love fun shoes. Invest in stuff that makes you feel good. I invested in some custom Converses. And I love them. I'm about to wear them today because they just make me feel so good. I love them, and I get compliments on them. And when people say, I love those shoes, where did you get them? I say, I made them myself on their website. It's just that is fun for me. That makes me feel a little proud too, because, I just clicked things, and put colors in certain places I wanted them. But I created this. I, curated this look for myself. So at that, I'm sure you guys can hear my cat purring. I wish you could see him. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I am definitely going to keep making videos like this where I give you guys very realistic advice on how to change your life in small ways. And you might say, I watched this whole video and you didn't say anything about how I'm going to get my Maserati or how I'm going to get my mansion. And that's another video. But these habits of evaluating your life and deepening the way that you honor yourself and love yourself are what is going to lead you to prosperity in life, because it starts within. Cliche, whatever. And I will make another video on the psychology behind it and the science behind it, because it's really amazing how science is really starting to back all of these kind of philosophical, spiritual concepts. And I love watching it all unfold before us in this day and age. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you would like to hear more about, and I will see you in the next video.